A state within a state. A city within a city. A different planet. San Pedro. Vigilantism with its own rule of law. Luck of the draw, roll of the dice, drugs, and rule of the strongest. The weak lose. Those who don't comply disappear without a trace. The ones with power rule. Just like Ronald Orna, he's been in San Pedro for 8 years. Cop killer, 12-year sentence. He knows his way around these walls and dark alleys, and he knows how to survive in here.
Respect is paramount in a prison. Here, when a new inmate comes in and wants to prove he is a tough guy, wants to stand up to the others, then he does not show the necessary respect to the established prisoners. Your reputation is directly related to your offense. I am, for example, a murderer. And that speaks for itself, right?
Who has committed what crime quickly makes the rounds in San Pedro. Here the rule applies: the more severe the crime, the greater the prestige. Cop killer Ronald ranks high in the hierarchy. 12 noon, lunchtime. Ronald always finds a place to sit and eat. Others don't even get enough to eat.
We are a lot of people in here, almost 3,000, and many have their families with them. Everybody wants to eat, but there isn't enough for all of them.
Lunch is the only free meal in prison, the only chance for the poorest among the inmates to eat anything. The midday meal is financed by the state, but there is never enough to feed everyone. Alternately, rice with plantains or broth with chicken is on the menu. Each prisoner who has received his ration is listed by name. Those who are late go hungry. There are no extras. Because the state supplies only one meal per day, San Pedro has to take care of the rest. Each day, women and relatives bring food with them to the prison. And that's how drugs enter the prison as well. The police does what it can, but is completely overwhelmed. Those who have no relatives or other support on the outside lose, and sooner or later end up dead. Ronald usually has enough small change, because he has connections to the top, to the powerful in San Pedro.
I earn my money with a few services for the delegados. Earlier, we had to strike out, punish someone. Disciplinary action due to misconduct. It's something we have to do. It's common practice. It went well, though. Part of my routine. Hey, senor, move on. We're having a private talk here, and that guy wants to eavesdrop. He has no manners. That can't happen here. Not with me. He gets in trouble with me for that kind of behavior.
Holding one's ground, demonstrating strength, that's the only way to survive in here. Originally designed to house 600 prisoners, in the meantime, 3,000 are estimated to be here. But no one knows the real numbers. That's a problem. Because again and again people disappear, and the police has no clue what's going on. Currently, 5 inmates are officially listed as missing. Whether they are dead or have escaped, the police doesn't know.
I have no idea what is going on in there. They do what they want inside those walls. We are not allowed to enter.
Crazy and dangerous for any individual. Inmates like the Spaniard Blanco are left completely to their own devices. He has been in San Pedro for 7 years now and is too scared to leave his cell. He knows too well that inmates regularly disappear without a trace in Bolivia's most notorious prison.
I had a German friend, Stefan. 2 years ago, he suddenly disappeared. The others said he committed suicide. But who knows if that's true? This is not like in Spain where you get your cell, police everywhere, and cameras. Here, there's no one. They throw you in here and then may God help you.
If Blanco is to be believed, then you are truly at the mercy of San Pedro and its inmates.
We have a lot of rapings here. In this quarter, a man abused another man's wife. But more often, men rape other men. That's why I always sleep with one eye open and keep everything else closed.
Sex and prostitution, another huge issue in prison.
If you don't have a girlfriend or wife in here, then you get someone from the outside and pay her. But I don't want to, and even if I did, I don't have the money.
Blanco's time in prison, in one of the toughest prisons in all of South America, has left its toll.
People in Europe are very selfish. You don't realize it until you go to prison. I'm not sad. No. I'm grateful that I was able to realize that. And should I ever return to Spain, then I can change. And I will live better with less. I will not be selfish. I've sworn that to myself in here. In Spain, I saw poor people on the streets. Didn't interest me. But here, we're all extremely poor.
Money rules the world, especially in the small world of San Pedro. Corrupt through and through. Everybody needs money and everybody wants money. You pay off people to keep their mouths shut, especially when it comes to gambling. It is not allowed. But if it makes the delegados money, then even gambling and prostitution are allowed. Cell phones are not allowed here either, but you see them everywhere. And you can use them too if you bribe the right people. Money exchanges hands in the visitors area too. You want a cop to leave the room so you can have a private conversation? You need money. Whoever has the right status can even play football in San Pedro. Ronald, the cop killer, is respected and has a reputation as a tough guy. The system works for him. He has his finances under control and does lead a reasonably tolerable life in this unusual prison.
Nothing is free in here. Everything costs money. Everything has to be purchased. Everything has to be paid for. Like this Coke. One simply needs money.
Cop killer Ronald lives in the Pinos quarter, not a luxurious area of San Pedro, but significantly better than the drug quarter, for example, where aggressive crimes are pervasive. Although Ronald maintains good relations with the delegados, he still has to pay rent.
I sleep over there. There are inmates who have their own cell. But here, there are 5 of us. You know what I say? To each his own.
About 6 square meters for 5 grown men. No privacy at all. But this sleeping area is still considered one of the better ones and therefore costs money, like everything else.
We pay 3 pesos per day. We pay what we have to pay.
If you don't pay up, you have the delegados on your back. And in a place where you always run into somebody, no one wants to risk that. San Pedro is hopelessly overcrowded, the size of a football field. The prison was originally meant for 600 inmates. In the meantime, it's up to 3,000. And the greater the demand for a place to sleep, the higher the price for a roof over your heads. But the people who wash up on these shores usually have barely enough money to stay afloat. Most of the money passes his hands. Victor Hugo Mendoza, prison boss, controls San Pedro. To accommodate all of his underlings, he wants to enlarge the prison and is planning a new building.
I have to ensure that we get new material. We are looking for donations. There are people out there that help us. They donate money, bricks, and cement, so we can build this house.
Not 1 cent for the new building is coming from the Bolivian government. The government has abandoned San Pedro and implemented a bold social project in 2002, a prison without guards, inmates managing it themselves. The result? A completely dilapidated prison. Many of the houses here are over 100 years old, in danger of collapse, and only makeshift repairs are possible. Most of the cells are do-it-yourself because of lack of space. Those who cannot afford a place to live sleep between dirt and garbage in one of the many dark passages. 4-time murderer Mendoza is the only one who can change anything. He is not only prison boss, but building contractor as well.
I am not only proud, I am glad that I and my comrades were able to implement our project.
A project that sounds quite absurd upon closer inspection, because Mendoza's new prison building, once finished, will be only 10 centimeters lower than the actual prison walls.
Since there is an observation tower, from there they control us. There is CCTV, so they have the outer walls under control.
Empty surveillance towers and unguarded walls that are 10 centimeters high. Hugo Mendoza plays dumb. He knows exactly what he can say and what he prefers to keep to himself.
It would perhaps be too much to say that I feel like a king. But up here, I feel free. I feel the wind more up here. You can feel the freedom. Down there, among all those people, it is ominous and depressing.
Hugo Mendoza looks at his little kingdom as it appears to continue to grow.